Hey Ghosts, Bounty here from Bounty Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about PvP, the future of Ghost Recon Wildlands, and other little things along the way like the format of PvP, possible weapons that we're looking at using, and in the background, while you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, there's going to be some gameplay of the Kaimanes region on Ghost Recon Wildlands, so for any reason if you're stuck on these missions, feel free to let me know. We've already finished the game, hit max level, and now we're just farming up a couple of skills. So anyway, Ghosts, PvP has been announced. It's going to be one of the updates coming shortly, hopefully sooner rather than later, to Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, it's going to open up a new game mode where Ghosts can go in and you'll be pitted against 4 other enemies. So it's going to be a 4v4 type format. And you can choose whichever loadout you want, and you're going to go head to head in a smallish, and I say smallish because, let's be real, we are used to open map, in a smallish compound, maybe a little area like what we're investigating now with the shipwreck and things like that, or you could be out in the jungle, but it's going to be small enough that you will find the enemies within, let's say, 5 minutes, because they don't want the rounds to drag on. There's no point if you're going to have 4 ghillie suits up in the hills, all using M4 AO1s and just camping, waiting. That's not what we want. They're after the high action-packed game modes, and it's similar to the team deathmatch that you guys find on games like Battlefield 4. You've got the larger conquest game modes, and then you have team deathmatch. It's a lot higher paced, there's a lot more turnover. You'll find you're either getting a lot more kills or a lot more deaths. Either way, you're being a lot more involved instead of just sitting around, maybe flying over in a jet, getting 1 kill every 5 minutes. So Ghosts, talking about the actual format, considering that it's 4v4 in a smaller area, let me know what you guys think about this. Personally, I think it's a little bit of a shame because Ghost Recon Wildlands, as you guys know, does have multiple regions. I think there's about 12 or 13 off the top of my head. And these regions are actually quite huge. There's a lot of hilly areas, flat areas, rivers, all that type of stuff. And I think it's a little bit of a shame that they have this massive map available and that they're not utilizing it to the max that they can. So what I think would be awesome is if there was some sort of PvP or game mode similar to Battle Royale. Now, before I go on and explain further, they probably decided against this because there is H1Z1, BG has just came out, and those games are really popular, so it would feel as though they're trying to compete against those games, and it might not work out too well for Ghost Recon. So I think that's why, just straight off, I think that's why they're going for the smaller version of PvP. But what would be cool is if it was open map, you could travel, or the modes could be different regions. So you join a level and it might be Okoro, and then the next level might be Villa Verde, and the maps would rotate like that, so you get different scenery, you get the snowy mountains, you get the desert roads, you get the salt flats, you get a real big mixture, and these could be different maps so that way when you join in, you know, everything's different and you can really have a lot of fun in the different regions. You might find that in the snow you'll change what you're wearing to something white so you can blend in a lot better, and in the jungle you might be dressed up like I am here in the clips as a very sort of grassy ghillie. So guys, for that format, Battle Royale, I think that would be awesome. But we are going to be getting 4v4. Possibly in the future, they might look to expand more, utilize a bit more of their map, and provide us with a larger format game mode with something in between 50 and possibly 100 players. Now guys, for the loadouts, for PvP, personally, I've played around with quite a few of the assault rifles, and I think my favorites are going to be the M4A1 Tactical, which I'm using here in this clip, the M4A1 Auto, which is basically the same weapon except it's not a single or burst fire, you can just go flat out, and then the ACR. So the reason I don't think I'll be using the ACR, even though it is the most consistent and the most popular assault rifle, I just don't like the fact for the full auto that I just happen to lose all of my aim when it's medium to long distance. So I think personally for my loadout, I'll definitely be looking to use the M4A1 full auto. That's by far what I consider to be the best weapon in the game. As soon as I unlocked that, it was just so easy to go through the campaign. I could shoot medium, long, close, it doesn't even matter. It was a very, very good weapon. And it also has a wide variety of attachments. You can put a compensator on there, you can use an ACOG or a red dot sight. There's a lot of flexibility in the actual weapon itself. Now, the M4A1 that I'm using now, the tactical suppress version, I will use that if suppressors are actually a thing in PvP. What we don't know yet is whether people are going to be taking off their suppressors and actually utilizing their damage output and not worrying so much about sound. What you guys need to remember is that on single player, generally you want to storm the base nice and quiet, you want to blow someone up, or you want to go in and take away a hostage, or you don't want the leader to escape. These types of missions, they force you to go in really quiet. Whereas on PvP, if there's only going to be 4 other people, it honestly really doesn't matter. If people know where you are, it doesn't matter. It's not going to make you lose straight away. If you go in quiet, sure, they may not know where you are, but you could get found a lot easier. They might 180, and then 2-tap you because they don't have a suppressor, their damage is through the roof, and they found where you are or heard your weapon or anything like that. So I think for PvP, suppressors are probably going to be gone, and players will worry less about being silent. I mean, even now playing the campaign, if you guys play online with randoms, there's always that one guy who doesn't use a suppressor, and he goes around, he wants the extra damage, and really does not care. If the alarm goes off, awesome. Reinforcements show up, I'll kill them with the HTI, 2 shots or 1 shot to the gas tank. If helicopters come in, cool, I'll just bring out my underbarrel grenade launcher. Let's go in loud, guys, let's get things happening. There's always those types of players out there, and I actually think that they will be the most successful when it comes to PvP, because PvP is going to be rushing in, going loud, and making sure things happen. And when there's only 4 people, you only need a couple of kills, and then, the round's over. So also for the rounds, guys, I think it's going to be a respawn type mode, so where you die, you can come back, and it might be the first to something like 20 kills, the first to 50 kills, or a similar format to those. I think it's going to be similar to what Battlefield did, Battlefield 4, with their team deathmatch mode, and that you have the core conquest mode, which is, it takes a lot longer from when you spawn to get to where the action is. You'll be in a lot of vehicles, a lot of traveling. You might get 1 kill every couple of minutes. Whereas when you play the team deathmatch mode, you can actually get on real awesome killing sprees. You might have 8 or 10 kills to your name, only a couple of minutes in the game, and it's a lot faster, a lot quicker. The actual action just never stops. So I feel as though that's what we're going to be getting from Ghost Recon Wildlands PvP. I'll be trying out different loadouts and things like that to let you guys know how it goes. Another thing I was thinking about earlier today is the actual flashbang itself. I was watching someone play Counter-Strike and thought, well, on Ghost Recon we do have flashbangs, but when they first released the game there was the bug where if you threw a flashbang you would actually alert the enemies a lot faster just by throwing a flash. Like, it made no sense. So you throw a flash, you're supposed to, surprise them or blind them, and they can't see where you are, but it would actually alert them. And I think for a lot of ghosts out there, that did put a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth when it came to flashbangs. I know it did for me, but they have now fixed it. So I'd recommend practicing with the flashbangs, because that could be a very tactical, almost a very overused element of PvP, and possibly a lot more effective than a grenade. You could throw out a flashbang, run up, 2-tap, and the enemy's dead. Whereas a grenade, once you throw it out, you get this really dark red illumination on your screen showing you the blast radius of the grenade. It's not too hard to stand up, backpedal, and get out of that. So I feel as though flashbangs are going to be really effective. What I'm interested in is seeing if the drone is actually going to be available. It would be very interesting to see for the drone whether people might be using the noisemaker and luring or even tricking people into believing where they might be, so then that way they come out of cover and then you can blast them. Whether the EMP drone or Resurrection, the healing drone, whether all of that's going to be involved, we don't have confirmation yet. But also, going back to the loadout, before I forget, I think for my second weapon, I'm definitely going to be looking at a sniper rifle. And for the sniper rifle, I've had to think about a few things, and the HTI is more vehicle focused. It's very strong against helicopters, cars, all of that type of stuff. But seeing as we're going up against other ghosts, I think I'm going to be using the M4A01. And the reason for it, it's got pretty decent damage, it's got a nice long range, and I just feel real comfortable with the stock scope. Even though I've unlocked custom bits and pieces for it here and there, I feel as though the stock scope is one I'm used to. I've used it all through the single player campaign, and I feel as though what I've used through the single player campaign is just what I'm going to start out with PvP, because I've already invested 60 hours going through the single player campaign, farming, collecting skill points, all that stuff, using these weapons. So they're going to be the best weapons for me to use, so when PvP comes out, we can cause a lot of damage to other ghosts out there, and we'll try new things along the way, and it'll be very interesting to see how the tactics and the game mode itself evolves. On that note, ghosts, when it comes out, just give it a couple of days, don't bag it straight away, just in case it is really bad. Just give it a few days, because sometimes it takes a while for the tactics to breathe. Another game that I've been covering here on the Bounty Gaming channel, Titanfall 2, when that first came out, everyone was using Tone, and then they realized, oh, Ronin's actually viable, and the strategy does change up and mix over time. Then, out of nowhere, everyone started using a weapon called Devotion, and all of this hate out of nowhere came about because of the Devotion, and this was about 3 months after release, so it's kind of like, well, it took us 3 months to discover that weapon that worked with a specific loadout. Then when we did discover that, it was disgustingly overpowered. So it's probably going to be similar with Ghost Recon Wildlands. What I hope they don't do with PvP is nerf or buff certain weapons. I hope they just keep it all the same and leave it up to us to be smart, to find counters, you know, whether it's thermal vision or night vision to spot the snipers, whether we actually use binoculars for the first time in the game. Leave it up to us to decide how we're going to counter these strong weapons or loadouts or locations on the map, because nerfing and buffing, I don't think that's going to be the answer. That's just going to be ongoing maintenance. They're going to be buffing that, nerfing that, and it's just not healthy for the game. So anyway, ghosts, we'll see how this goes. We're definitely going to be covering PvP as soon as it comes out on the Bounty Gaming channel. We've taken a look at the little video, the little snippet they showed us already, and it looks pretty cool. But I'm going to wait till it comes out and let you guys know my thoughts and opinions, cover a few loadouts and all that good stuff. Anyway, ghosts, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit long, but we're just chilling out, discussing PvP, and now it's your turn in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the format, 4v4, open world, all that stuff. Let me know what weapons you're going to be using, and I hope to see you guys around in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Make sure it's super, super awesome. Peace.